like you know what you're doing. Smile. It's coming. It's probably already live, and we're just standing here, sitting here doing this.
Yeah, I
Well,
think it
Yay.
it
works.
shows it's being live streamed.
Happy, hello, YouTube. Happy Thursday. Here we are. We're on YouTube. Hello,
Hey,
Melanie. Hello, Joey.
hi
Hey,
Sue.
How are you guys doing today?
so
Good.
Good. Excellent. All right. Well, I get to tell you guys
hey, Joey.
about my trip to Disneyland. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we get to live vicariously through you today.
I know
Yay.
it's fun, and I get to kind of relive my trip, which is really fun. Before I start talking too much, I'm gonna go ahead and repost this over on my Facebook page. So
So Rick can
stand
find it.
by. Yeah, so Rick can find
Yay.
us. I'm trying to, but it's being weird. So I don't know.
While you
Maybe I
do that,
won't.
I'll
You
talk to
talk.
Melanie and say, "Hi, Melanie. How are you doing?"
Hi, Joey. I'm doing good. I can't wait to hear about this Halloween Disney. I've never done it before, so
Yeah, me neither. I was telling
I've-
my daughter actually that in Florida they call it the Mickey's Not So Scary Holiday, and it's got this crazy acronym that people use online.
yeah.
And it looks like some kind of military code or something. But then in California, it's the because we had been listening to. Okay, so backtrack. There's a podcast that Disney sponsors called Four Scores, and it's a guy who is very well entrenched in film, music, and that culture in Hollywood, and knows all of the big names. And anytime a big name does a Disney movie, he has them on the podcast to talk about it. Now they haven't done one since mid late sometime last year. John Williams was the last person they interviewed, and it was for Indiana Jones 5. So he hasn't been doing them lately, but the show's great. And we were listening to the one with Danny Elfman talking about his recollections 30 years after The Nightmare Before Christmas had come out. And Madison was telling me that Oogie Boogie's her favorite character, and that he's really the only character in the whole cast that even scares her even a little bit. And that got me into the conversation about the Florida versus Disney and how at Disneyland it's the Oogie Boogie Bash. And she was like, that is such a better name. And she got very excited and wants to know all about it because she wants to go. So she's probably going to want to listen to this for sure, and hear everything you have to say.
Oh, that's great. That's excellent. Okay, I can't get this posted onto Facebook, so
Oh,
maybe one of you guys can get it in the Disney Act chat. I don't know why I'm stuck, but I'm gonna stop fooling with that right now.
I'll see if I can do it
Um,
now.
yeah, it is different. I've never done one of these parties before either. So I only know what I've heard from other people that have done the one in Florida. And I I think there's similarities, and it would be really cool to go do the one there too. And we talked about that on this trip. Um, but I think that it is kind of unique because it has this like overarching like Nightmare Before Christmas kind of theme. Um, so that's kind of cool. It feels different. It's it's California. It's the land of the movies. I think it suits it, for it to be that theme.
Yeah.
So, and in well, we'll get into it at Disneyland. The even the rides have overlays, including the Haunted Mansion, which has a Nightmare Before Christmas overlay, and so there's just a lot of synergy with that, which is totally makes sense and very cool. So, okay, so I've got an album of photos here that I am gonna share with you guys.
When do they officially start that? September
It,
1st or into August
it
or
actually, I think this year it started the end of August.
end of August? Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy, I know. Oh, that's a great picture, Joey.
I was thinking that I either read or heard that like August 1st is when they just start doing the pocket decorating to get ready for it. I could be wrong on that date, but
Yeah, I mean, I've been there in August before, and it was they were starting to decorate. I'm
yeah,
not sure about August 1st, but by mid-August.
for
And
sure.
the
Yeah.
the Haunted Mansion will close um around the beginning of August because it's such a
Yeah.
huge undertaking to make the change.
Well, it
To
was closed when I was there for my birthday. And
Right, and that
that
was
my birthday July 19th.
in
So
July. Well,
now I don't
but
know if they were doing something else to Haunted
yeah.
Mansion.
So this year, the Haunted Mansion's been closed since the beginning of the year because they're doing a
Oh,
big renovation of not the mansion itself, but around the mansion. The
oh, that's right. We talked about that.
queue, yeah, and
Yep.
so it didn't reopen as the regular Haunted Mansion. When they reopened it, it just rolled straight into the holiday. It's the
Mhm.
Haunted Mansion Holiday, is what it's called.
Yeah.
Um, so that's why it was closed when you were there, even in July.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
normally, I think it's closed around the beginning of August. It takes them about a month, and they do it's really cool if you ever see video of what they do to change the mansion. It's really neat.
I haven't, but I am going to look that up.
Yeah, I saw a
Yeah.
really cool little short one like a month ago, because like the ballroom in the mansion on the table instead of the birthday cake or whatever it usually is, it's a gingerbread. It's a huge gingerbread house, and it's
Oh,
apparently
fun.
really gingerbread.
Oh, wow.
It's super cool, and it's different every single year, and it smells like gingerbread when you get to that part of the mansion.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
They're
really neat.
blowing those smells in there, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I want to tell you guys about the party, and I'm sure Joey's here, but he's having some technical issues. So we'll just get him when we can. So I want to tell you about the party, but the party we were there, just some basics. We stayed 3 nights. We had 4 days in Southern California. We stayed at the Grand Californian Hotel,
All
and
right.
yeah, it was so cool. And we had 3 day park hopper tickets. So we flew down really early on a Sunday morning and we flew home on a Wednesday evening. And we went to the Disney parks on Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And on Monday, we went to Knott's Berry Farm, which is cool. So I'll tell you a little
Oh,
about that.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so our our flight that we flew down on left Seattle at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we had to get up at we had to leave. I live really close to the airport, like 20 minutes
That's
from
nice.
it. So we left, but it was still, we had to leave at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
so, so that was a little crazy, but we've done this flight before. And the reason we do it is because we fly into Orange County John Wayne
Yeah.
Airport,
Yeah.
which is really close to Disneyland. And the flight from here takes about 2.5 hours or so. So we end up, hi Joey. So we end up down there like right when the park's opening, practically. We end up at the other airport.
Yeah.
And so we do carry-on luggage. We take an Uber to Disneyland, and we can like check into the hotel, leave our bags,
Yeah.
check, get a room key at least, and even if we don't have a room, and leave our bags, and then just go straight into the parks. And so it's very efficient, and we can have basically a whole day in the parks on our day. We wake up in our own bed here, and we're in the park. Like, I got my notes here. We arrived at the hotel at 9:30. So
Wow.
it was like we were in the park by 10 o'clock. So I
Yeah,
mean,
that's awesome.
yeah. So another factor that was happening here was the weather. So it was super, super hot.
Hmm.
Let me
It
skip
looks
over.
beautiful. Nice blue sky there.
I know, I mean, it's a beautiful day, but here is at this is
Ooh,
at
ho, ho, ho.
this is at
12:40 in the afternoon.
12:39.
And that was
Okay.
on the Sunday?
Yeah, that's our arrival day.
Wow. 100 degrees at
That looks
5
like
p.m.
Texas weather.
I
Yeah.
know. It was, I mean, at least it wasn't really very humid, but it
That's
still said
very
it feels like
unusual.
105.
That is very unusual for Anaheim. I can tell you that for a fact. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it was crazy. And since it was so hot though, because Sunday we figured was going to be our biggest crowd day, even though this is a low crowd week. This is two weeks ago. It's the weekend after Labor Day. So that's part of the reason we picked these dates, but that and the fact that that's when I could get the tickets to the party. But so it was already going to be like a 4 or something out of 10. But you guys, there was nobody, like the local stayed away.
yeah.
So
There was nobody there, huh?
well, so I have my notes here and I
Do you think
remember,
because of the weather?
yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure it
Walking on
was.
Peter Pan, walking on
Yeah,
just
so
about
I
everything.
I I sent you guys, I texted you guys something when we were there because it was so insane. Okay, so this morning we got up in Seattle. We flew down there. We got to the park. Here's all the things we did. Okay, we had a lunch reservation at Carnation Cafe, which was at noon. So we got up in Seattle. We flew down there. Before we even went to Carnation Cafe at noon, we had breakfast in the Red Rose Tavern over in Fantasyland. So it's like a
Yeah.
quick breakfast.
Yeah.
We went on Pinocchio, Snow White, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway 2 times, Big
Wow.
Thunder Mountain, Pirates, and the Haunted Mansion before noon.
Wow.
We woke up in Seattle.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
So we did
I mean,
have we
you weren't even in the park till 10.
yeah, I know. We did all that in 2 hours.
Wow.
And so we used the Lightning Lane multi-pass.
Okay.
So we had that for all the days. And in Disneyland, I just think it's totally pays off. And you can see it here because we used
Yeah.
Lightning Lanes for 2 rides. The second Mickey and Minnie Railway was Lightning Lane. And then after that, we went on Big Thunder. So we just like walked on to stuff, got that Mickey and Minnie Lightning Lane while we were in line for the first one, just because like it was available for like right now. And
That's
then
amazing.
we got Big Thunder as soon as we got past that one. And Haunted Mansion is a virtual queue. So we got that from I think you have to be in the park. Now I can't remember. I think you have to be in the park to get that virtual queue.
But it was probably the first thing you did, right?
Yeah, we did it early. And so we got a virtual queue for like, I don't know, what must have been like 11 o'clock or something. So we rode that on virtual queue. And that's kind of a weird situation. I think it's only because they're doing that construction. The queue area is really small. It's basically like just in front of the mansion. That's the only place where you can line up. You don't even go way out into the graveyard or anything. Our theory was they're using virtual queue so that they don't get a big line somewhere. They have nowhere for people to line up.
Yeah. So
But
they
it
don't have
was,
to create temporary queues and have them going over by the train station or anything.
yeah,
That makes
it's
sense.
just virtual queue. But the thing is, because it wasn't very crowded, the virtual queue only lets you do it one time. There's no other way to get on that attraction.
Mm.
So
Mm.
we totally could have done it multiple times every single day. And I kind of wondered if there was times of day, especially
Yeah.
towards the evening, that they didn't have anybody coming through
You
hardly
probably
at
could have
all.
talked to a cast member and they would have let you on. I'm
That's
surprised you
probably
didn't.
true.
You know these tricks.
Well, there's always something. I need to write that in my notes.
Was
So
was Splash Mountain, I mean Tiana's Bayou, was that not open yet?
not open yet, not
Okay.
until mid-November, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious because
Which to me is a
that's
weird
adding to the
time
congestion.
for that ride because you get wet. But I mean, I guess November California weather is all right. But
Yeah, but it sure would have been nice to go on it on when it was
right.
103.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Look
So
at you in your little outfit.
yeah, so this is my
California Adventure.
yeah, this is over in California Adventure. This is my shirt I got off Amazon. And this is my cooling scarf, which you guys at Texas might know about these.
It
Yes.
matches. I love it.
Yeah, it was, you
Yeah.
know what? My daughter, so it was me and my daughter Jordan that were on this trip, and she had got two of these for free from something. And she's
Yeah.
like, I'm bringing these, and they were orange. And yeah, you just get them wet, and they actually really do work pretty well.
They do. Those are good.
Yeah, but this right here, hang on, I'm going to stop the share so I can show you guys this. So this is a
Mm.
fan
Mm.
that goes, you can put it around your neck. It has clips, so you can clip it like to your shirt or inside under,
Oh,
like on your
wow.
belt, like under your shirt.
Yeah.
It's got 5 speeds. It has a light in it, and it also has it's USB. You can charge your phone off this thing if you need to.
That's amazing.
And so
Nice.
I'm going to put a link to this when I finally get this organized on Facebook.
Yeah.
But we wore the those fans. Let me put this back on here. We use those fans constantly. You guys see my picture again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we wore these fans everywhere because it was so darn hot. And they were really good. So, and they cost like, I got them on Amazon. I bought them like 2 days before when I realized how hot it was going to be off Amazon for like $35. Like, so
That's what you'd pay for a battery charger anyway. So that's,
right? I
yeah.
know. And they were so convenient, and they, you can use them for other stuff too. So anyway,
Were
yeah,
people in line like, hey, can I get a little bit of that?
everybody had something,
Oh,
whether it
wow.
was just a little like a paper fan or some kind of personal fan or whatever. It was like, oh my God, it was so hot.
Makes me think of going to Disneyland 25, 30 years ago, just suffering through it. But of course, when you're young, you
Yeah,
can do that. But yeah.
yeah, exactly. So let's see what else we have. Oh, so we rode the Guardians of the Galaxy ride has a overlay too,
Mm-hmm.
which is like there's monsters loose in the tower or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
Monsters After Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we rode that.
Now that's not all day. That's only at certain times. Like in the morning, it's the regular ride, and then when the sun goes down or something, it turns into the Monsters After Dark. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It exactly. It's after
That's
dark.
cool.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
That's
looking
the
at my
neat
notes.
overlay concept, right? Because it makes you want to ride it twice. Makes you want to. The reason they did it is so you'd stay at California Adventure into the evening because people were leaving before the sun was even going down. Treating it like a half day park.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And it is kind of neat that it's unique. Personally, I like the other version better.
Mm.
But it's fun to ride it like this. And it is really popular. It switches over at like 4 o'clock or
Mm.
something. And there's often you can't do lightning lane or anything at that time because they're trying to coordinate making sure it really switches or whatever. So it can be hard to get on this one. Um, and luckily, we got on it on our first day because after that, the lines for Guardians for some reason were just crazy. And I'm pretty
Mm.
sure that's the only time we rode it the whole week. It's
Looks like you
crazy.
had great seat. You're right there in the back row
Yeah,
center.
in the back
Yeah, that's
there.
awesome.
Let's see. So I'm looking at my notes here. So the afternoon, okay, so our room was ready. We went back to the room at 2:30. It was so hot. Every single day we had to get out of the heat. Um, so then we went into California Adventure at 4 and we did Soarin', Little Mermaid, got some ice cream from the Cozy Cone soft serve. Because I
Yay.
remember we were so hot and we're just like, oh my God, we have to have something. Um, and then we rode Monsters Inc. And then we used Lightning Lanes for Web Slingers and this Guardians ride. And let's see if I have this in my. Oh yeah, and then but it was so quiet. Um, I don't think I can hear the music and you guys can. I'm gonna
No.
turn that down. Um, it was so quiet in the parks. Like this is at 6:12 p.m. and this is in the Avengers campus, and there's like you can see there's like hardly anybody in there.
Yeah. Well, if you had photos from that, I could probably Photoshop people out real easy.
Yeah, well, I have photos with nobody in them, that's for sure.
You don't need to Photoshop them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
right.
the video was just I was like, I should take some video of that. Okay, oh yeah, and then this is the next day, but I have a in my notes here at 7:15 p.m. it was 98 degrees.
Oof.
Yeah, we went we had a late dinner. We just got some shawarma from over there in the Adventures campus and then went over and got beer. It's just like we need beer. And we're sitting there in California Adventure and you just feel the heat just radiating. It's so crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, the whole place is made of concrete and asphalt. So
yeah, Disneyland's definitely a better option on a hot day. There's so many big trees. Like I really noticed it this time.
did either of you get the beer with the tahine rim?
No, where do you get that?
What is the one?
Trader
It's
Joe's?
in the I can't remember the name of it.
Is it in California Adventure?
Yeah, sorry, it is in California Adventure.
Is it
Yeah.
that beer? There's like it's like a cantina or something
It's
over
Pim's,
in
Pim's.
Oh, yeah, the
oh
Test
at
Kitchen.
Pim's.
At Pim's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I should have asked you that before.
Sorry,
Well,
when you mentioned beer, I'm like when I was at Pim's, yeah, I had one with the tahine
ooh,
rim,
that
and
sounds
it was really good.
What does
Yeah,
it taste like?
Well, so you know how if you get like a Dos Equis and you get like the salt rim,
Mm-hmm.
so it just kind of adds a different dynamic to the taste of the beer.
mhm.
And tahine, it just has that, if you know tahine flavor, it's it just has a kick to it.
Mm-hmm.
Little kick.
I-
Yeah,
yeah,
little spice, little
yeah, a little spice to it. Yeah,
cayenne or something. Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Oh,
not
that
sure
would have been really
what the next one.
refreshing.
Yeah,
Well, I know
Yeah.
people who like Tabasco in their cocktails, so they would probably enjoy something like that.
I mean,
oh,
my favorite margarita has jalapeno.
oh
Delicious,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
yes.
that would have been good too. We definitely drank more beer than normal. It
Well, when it's hot, that's very
just
refreshing.
it really was.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next day was our Knott's Berry Farm Day. And we didn't have to get up super early on that day because the park didn't even open till 10. It's like 20 minutes from where we were. And
Did you take an Uber or something?
yeah, we just Ubered and we didn't have much of an agenda. We were going to ride some big roller coasters and check it out. And so we started our day with room service and we ordered one breakfast burrito to share and coffee. And this breakfast burrito is as big as it looks there. Like
Gotta love California for breakfast burritos. Yeah,
yeah, it was
it's like
but
8 eggs.
exactly. It was so huge. The two of us could not eat it all, especially because knew we were going on roller coasters.
But she paid $45 for it because it's room
Well,
service.
yeah, it was like $30.
You could have gone down the street to Roberto's and got the same thing for $6.75, but that's all right.
Yeah.
But it was delicious. it hit the spot, and the coffee was good, and we sat on our little terrace right there, and
Yeah,
it didn't rush us. It was really nice having room service. I like room service on trips like this, at least, once in a while, because you don't have to feel like it's one more thing you have to get in the schedule before you get to the
going.
where you have to be.
Yeah. It's
So
not a
it made,
stop on your way to the first thing. You're just
yeah,
get it out
and
of the way, go to the first thing.
you know what time
So,
it's coming.
yeah.
That's
So
nice.
this is your balcony.
Yeah, that's our little
Yeah.
balcony.
You had a courtyard
Yeah, we just
view.
had
Yeah.
a really quiet courtyard right there. The monorail track went past it, but the monorail wasn't running, so which
Hmm.
was sort of bummer. I would have liked to listen
Oh,
to the monorail
yeah.
going by, but yeah, so we had a little space to be outside. It's probably still like 90 degrees at this point though. So outside wasn't
Yeah.
quite as appealing.
At 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, oh, here you go. At 7:15, it was 98 hour. Oh, that's PM.
Oh,
Sorry,
That's
that's
PM.
night.
Yeah.
That's PM. Yeah, it's going down.
yeah.
That's on September 8th. So that's the
That's
night
on the night.
before. That's the
Yeah.
night before. That's yeah, that's when we're sitting there having our beer and thinking, how hot is it? Oh, this is
Charging
something
station.
else. Yeah, from in our room. Um,
I love it.
because there's so many things. Here's our fans, our
You got it.
magic bands, my phone, and Jordan had her phone too. And
You
so
watch it.
I bring my own little charging thing
Rick.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, with it, this one has,
Yeah.
multiple places you can plug in this plus USB, because in this hotel, it's pretty well designed. They have a lot of outlets and stuff, but like we're kind of using all of them. And
Yeah.
having everything plugged in one place means you don't forget your stuff, at least for us. So
Yeah.
yeah, so this is kind of a new thing we do.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay.
Whew, nobody in it.
So
Wow.
we get to Knott's Berry Farm. It's opening at 10. We get there like 5 minutes to 10, and the gates aren't open yet. And there's like maybe 50 people waiting to get inside. This is a Monday
Wow.
morning. Remember, it's post Labor Day. It's the week after. It's already like 95 degrees outside.
Yeah, colleges are back in, high schools are back in. It's 95 degrees. Yeah,
Like
we used to go to when I lived in California, we'd go to Six Flags that week because you could just literally you'd come into the station on the roller coaster and they'd just go, "You want to go again?" And we'd ride the Rattler like three
yeah,
times in a row. Yeah.
yeah. So that's theoretically that is what this would have been. But what happened is it literally a ghost town, like you see it has
Which
the
is funny because
ghost
it's
town.
the ghost
This
town.
probably remind you of your childhood, Joey, because this to me this looked exactly like 1975 or
Yeah,
85 or
yeah.
whatever,
Pictures you
like.
see where there's a sparse crowd of people. Yeah.
And the decor, like this part of Knott's Berry Farm, I'm pretty sure hasn't changed in a really long time.
Yeah.
And but yeah, there's Jordan walking. There's the few people. We're walking to a big roller coaster. Yeah, and here's the tombstone snip. This is like insanely hot by now, 10:45. You see, I have my fan in my
Yeah.
shirt.
That's smart.
Um, but yeah, so we went here because Knott's Berry Farm has big roller coasters, and we were like, cool, we're gonna do a roller coaster stay. Well,
Montezuma's Revenge. Is that still
yeah,
there?
I don't think that's there
Wow,
now.
that was a crazy one.
Is
Anyway,
that the old
I'm
one with
it would like
corkscrew?
shoot you out and corkscrew and like loop and yeah, and then it would send you backwards, but I don't think that one's there.
Backwards. Yep.
Do you remember that one? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It turns out what we found out is that after Labor Day, Knott's Berry Farm lays off a whole bunch of their workers
Mm,
and they don't staff the park. And it was super hot, so no one wanted to come to work. And so there's like 8 big roller coasters here. We rode 2 roller coasters. The
wow.
rest were closed.
Wow.
And the 2 we rode, neither of us needed to ride a second time. So one of them is this huge wooden coaster, which was really worth the trip right there to go over there because I've never been on a big wooden roller coaster like this, and it was really cool, but it was also really like I'm too old for it. So I was like, I need some Advil right now. Um,
Oh,
but we could have rode it as long as they had staff in there to run it. That I mean, kids were staying on for sure, and there was no line. We just walked straight to it and got on. And then we rode this other one that's like a spinning it the ride vehicle spins around. And I've been on a coaster like that. The Crush coaster in Paris is sort of like this. It's like
Hmm.
a wild mouse, but then
Uh-huh.
it has this spinning. But this one, like the track, like turns like sideways. So like anyway, it was really fun, but both of us were like, no, in this heat, we can't go back on that again.
Yeah.
So we did
Warm
that.
vomit is worse than cold vomit all the time, any
Yeah,
day.
it's like, no thanks. Yeah. So then we also wandered around and it was like totally no one was there. So it was really kind of spooky. We went in
Sarsaparilla.
we went inside the luckily the little the tavern was open, and so we went in there and we had some sarsaparillas and got in the air conditioning for a few minutes. um and then there's the big coaster. That's the big wooden coaster back here. um so the other thing we rode was this. Oh, and again, if you've been there since it opened, you might remember this. We went in the mine train ride, which is throwback like 1960s dark ride. And except that this time of year, they have this really weird overlay in there where instead of getting silver, they're getting candy, but there's no like cues that that's really what's going on, except for all the animatronic miners are saying, I just got so much candy. And they just keep talking about candy. And Jordan and I are like, what is going on? Are we tripping? Like, what's
Because it's
happening
all
at
about
this?
candy this time of year.
Yeah, and it was spooky and just strange, but totally worth doing it because I mean, if you're at Knott's Berry Farm, you have to do this old mine train thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's what we did at Knott's Berry Farm, and then we were like, we had already decided we're not staying too late. Like this picture's at 12:30, and it was just too hot, and so we're like, we're gonna get some lunch, and then we're gonna go. And we did go in the shops, so there's a lot of cool shops there, little old collectible shops that have obviously been they're operated by different families. They're privately run and they've been there forever. Like we were talking to this one guy, there's a shop that sells rocks and fossils. And the guy said the same family had had it for like 40 years or
oh
something.
wow.
Yeah, so the shops were cool because they were not, the corporate. It was different than being at Disney, and they reminded me of when I was a kid. And we had shops like that at our World's Fair grounds here in Seattle, and it was
Well,
it was cool. And they were
th-
very cold.
that's how Disney started, and Knott's really stole a lot of the ideas for running their park from Walt, except that as soon as Walt could, he would swap out a vendor that was on Main Street or in Frontierland for a corporate run shop, and eventually got rid of all of them. And Knott's just hasn't done that.
Yeah, and so it's pretty neat. So luckily, that was actually very diverting. Like we were just trying to get out of the heat, and so we're like, let's go in this shop. And then we realized these are cool stores, and we never would have done that if the roller coasters were all running. So that was
Yeah.
kind of a silver lining and neat thing about going on such a weird day. So, but then we did have lunch in the Mrs. Knott's chicken dinner, gigantic
Yeah.
restaurant.
Gigantic in it. 90% of the tables were empty
Yeah, we had like an
during the
entire
lunch
room to
rush.
ourselves.
That's a shame too, because that's not, you don't need a ticket to go there, right? That's at the entrance. Anybody can go eat there.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's
So anybody
outside.
in Orange County or anybody in LA County that wanted to drive down and go there could go have lunch there. And it's a neat place to go just have lunch.
Hmm.
It was neat. We had they gave us biscuits with, some berry jam and
Mm,
yeah, the whole thing. When we
What's it
sat down,
called?
Mrs.
it's
Knott's.
Mrs. Knott's. It's the original, like that's what
Mrs.
Knott's
Knott.
Berry Farm sprung up around. The restaurant came first. It was
Yeah.
really a farm.
Have you ever
Oh,
been, Melanie, to Knott's Berry Farm?
yes, but it's been probably
Decades.
20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. When I was a kid, last time I was there, so it was fun to
Yeah.
bring Jordan there. Um, and she was a good sport about it because there wasn't, we were just kind of wandering around and going in little shops and
It
Yeah.
makes you really question how good you are at going to theme parks. You're like, am I just good at going to Disney? Because when I went to Dollywood, it was like, I am not doing this right. What is wrong with me?
well, it was kind of funny because we did no planning. Like we knew that they had big coasters, but we're like, I don't know, we're just gonna go to whatever looks good. And so yeah, it was weird going there because talking about it beforehand, we're like, do you even know where stuff is? And there's no paper maps like at these parks now. At
Really?
least Disneyland still has paper maps.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was just like only in like two parts of the park there was a big sign with a map. So we're just like, I don't know. And we walked through this one stretch that was big coasters and just empty and all concrete. And we're like, even if they reopen these coasters later, we're not coming back here because it was too hot.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting to hear you talk about going to Knott's without doing any prep or planning. It's as though you were doing your own experiment of what it's like to be just a typical person going to a Disney park,
Yeah.
right? The difference being that you don't really need to do a lot of prep when it plan, when it comes to going to Knott's. But at Disney, if you don't do a lot of prep, you could, even though everything's running, you could still miss out on a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it was kind of good to sort of get the sense of what's it like to go to a place when you know nothing about it. And it was a little disorienting, but it was fine. So then we went back to the hotel and we took like a big break because here's at 4:30 it's 103. Um and then we went to Trader Sam's, which is so great.
Ah,
Yeah. So tips about Trader Sam's I learned because we didn't have a reservation. I was never able to get a reservation ahead of time. So I talked to the concierge at the hotel, and she said that there's usually low waits between 6 and 8 p.m. because people are like getting ready to go to dinner. They've got other plans. And we walked over there at like 4:30 and we said we want to be inside and they put us on just a virtual queue, so we could leave. They just called us back. But they said it was going to be 90 minutes and it was, but it worked out fine. So yeah, so we went in there and it was just so nice and quiet in there and air
it's so little
conditioned.
and cozy.
I know. And so I took some video in there because it was
Oh, yeah.
because I could basically.
So did you guys
Yeah,
do the
so
little
we ordered
cinnamon?
the OA
Yeah,
and the bartenders that night were especially good. I thought they really got into it.
yeah.
So they're gonna light it on fire, and then all the other stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah. And then you go, whoo, yeah.
And it's funny when I talk to friends who don't know Disneyland, and I tell them that we went, we go to this tiki bar, and now I have video to show them up, and they're like,
Yeah.
"What? Where? This is at Disneyland?"
Oh, so you guys sat at the bar.
Yeah, so we sat at the
Yeah.
bar.
Actually, where you're sitting, we sat right behind where that was,
Okay.
our little table there.
Yeah, yeah. So Well, it's fun when everybody's over 21 too. I don't think you can sit at the bar if you've got anybody who's not 21.
That makes
Yeah, and
sense.
then he's spraying everybody. But
Yes.
everybody's so hot. It, put the cinnamon on there to make it go.
Yeah.
So it's
I don't
103
know why that
degrees, and you
was so
decided to
fun,
set
but
your
it was.
drink on fire.
Yeah.
Well, there
Oh,
was
it
a
looks
lot
like
of
fun.
ice. There was a
There's
lot of ice in it. It was cold.
yeah.
Oh, and we got the green bean. Those long beans are really good. We ate
Oh,
dinner there. Um, yeah, and then I got up and shot a video of the whole whole place. But yeah, so anyway, that was fun, and that's how we ended that's basically how we ended our day, our rest day from Disneyland. And it was fine. I mean, we didn't go in the Disney parks that day, but we did this, which is, just pretty quintessentially Disney.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, it
I'd
was
say that's a
fun.
great use of your time on a day off or a down day.
Yeah, it was good. So then walking back to the hotel, um, they had all, there's Halloween decor in the downtown Disney too. And then this is inside the hotel, so that's part of the lobby, the check-in desk.
It
It's so
really is.
beautiful. And this guy was in the lobby every day playing the big piano, and it was really fun because he was playing like Grim Grinning Ghosts and like
Oh, yeah.
Halloween kind of music. And there was this big like gingerbread kind of Halloween display on the one end, and they were selling the gingerbread, which is the best gingerbread in the whole world. I
Oh,
brought some home with me. So good.
Yeah, I love when they do that at Christmas time at Disney World.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they have Halloween gingerbread too. So
Hmm.
there you go. Okay. So the next day is our Oogie Boogie Day, but we also had park tickets because I bought a 3-day park pass. So we got up early and went for early admission, knowing that we would take a break in the afternoon. Joey, your hands is raised.
Yes, teacher, I have a question.
Mhm.
So you had a 3-day park pass. Did you have to reserve your days?
Yeah.
Okay. So
At
you knew you
Dis
were going on your Oogie Boogie Day because you had to determine that in advance.
yeah. At Disneyland, you have to make park reservations still for the morning. You can park up starting at 11. So we made our morning reservations for Disneyland for every single day
Okay.
because we knew we knew we would hop to California Adventure anyway, and then we knew we were going to be in California Adventure this particular day, um you know for the
Yeah, because
whole
the party.
late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also they do early admission. They only have early admission at one park or the other every single day, and my notes are telling me this was early admission day in Disneyland, so that's probably another reason
Hmm.
you picked it.
I'm
um
curious, why did you not do the knots on a Boogie Boogie Day?
because we didn't know what Knott's was going to be
Hmm.
like. I mean, we're going to do all those coasters and stuff, so we wanted it to be its own thing. Just
Just in case.
yeah, because the party, the Oogie Boogie party was like the most important thing. And the other thing was that I think they were running this special, and Melanie, when you went to, they were offering a really good price on the 3-day park tickets. I
yes.
think it was basically the same or even less than a 2-day ticket. So it's kind of a
Hmm.
no-brainer to get the 3-day ticket.
Yes,
And
because that's what happened to me. I
yeah.
had the 2-day, and then when I called to pay for it, they said, "Oh, well, we can save you $500 and you get an extra day." I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah,
Hmm.
please.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save you $500 that you could spend at the store inside the park.
in
And
the
on
in the
food.
bar.
Buy some
yeah."
merch. Yeah, get yourself an uh-oh again.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So, but we totally got our money's worth out of our park pass that day because it's another day where there was like not much going on. So, Looks like, so let's see. So we got in, so we rode Space Mountain on rope drop. We were on the we were on the first car on Space Mountain, rolling at 7:37, it
That's great.
says.
That's a great picture too, by the way, with the sun
I
casting a long
know,
shadow.
yeah. I know,
Yeah.
that's fun. You get the mousers, and Jordan's wearing
Yeah.
her Jack Skellington hat,
Mm.
which she gets so many compliments. She got this in Disney World about 5 years ago, and everyone's always like, "Where'd you get that?"
That, yeah.
It's
And the
awesome.
backpack and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, she has this backpack that's like a casket, and she has all her Haunted Mansion pins in there.
And
It's really
green and
cool.
purple hair. You're really raising just a grade A supervillain, you know? I mean,
Yes.
they just don't get any better than that.
Mm.
She's definitely riding the goth train. Let's just say that she'd fit in the Haunted Mansion real well. So yeah, so anyway, we rope dropped at the admission. We rope dropped Space Mountain, and then we got on and off it really fast. So then we went over to Fantasyland, so we could rope drop Rise of the Resistance for the
I
regular
recognize that
opening.
line.
Yeah, so this is us, and
Oh,
we
wow.
didn't go straight there. We went on the other ride first, and we went over there.
Yeah.
Um, and this doesn't always work because Rise doesn't always open right at park opening, but
Right.
it worked. Oh, there's her hat again. But it worked for us. We basically walked on to Rise the Resistance. The pre-show wasn't even full. Like there was maybe half as many people as they can fit in there. I was like, well, I'll take some pictures. And the inside where they break you into the groups, we only had half the people,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
it was like super quick and convenient, and so we got on and off that without having to pay for the individual lightning lane, which is really good. And by then we were starting to, looks like from my notes, we were starting to rack up our lightning lanes and stuff. So we went to Pirates on Lightning Lane, Big Thunder Lightning Lane, then Haunted Mansion Virtual Queue. We had breakfast at Carnation Cafe. We went there twice because you had raved about it so much, Melanie. We had good food there.
Well, I'm glad you did because I remember her telling you that my husband had the salmon and it was really good for for Disney food. I mean,
Yeah,
and but I had the Waltz chili and that was just chili. But
yeah.
other than that, I mean, I didn't have anything else to. So, what did you guys end up getting there?
Well, we did, to be honest, I can't remember what I had on my lunch, but we did the breakfast with I got Mickey waffle. I mean, you have to,
Of
right?
course.
So yeah, but it was nice to have the reservation, and we were able to sit inside both
Yep.
times. So we had the AC,
Yeah.
which is good. So yeah, so we did that. And here's the Haunted Mansion. Here's the Halloween overlay
Mm.
on the mansion, which is
Oh,
also the
yeah.
Christmas overlay. And inside
The paintings, the portraits.
yeah, they're Jack Skellington Nightmare Before Christmas themed, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. And then after breakfast, we rode Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway a bunch of times. We did it again that day, which was really cool. We just kept using lightning lanes. We had that one. We did then we went across over to the other park. We did Toy Story. We did the Incredicoaster, Little Mermaid. And here you can see like all the Halloween stuff on the park. So the California
Mhm.
Adventure has Oogie Boogie, and he talks too. He talks to the people waiting
Oh,
there.
cool.
Yeah. Okay. So
Cute.
and then so before this is us at the party. So in the afternoon, after at like noon, it was really hot. So we went back to the hotel. We put on our swimwear. We went out and rode Grizzly River Run 2 times.
Oh,
And then
perfect.
we went back to the hotel and had lunch at the hotel pool bar in our wet stuff. So that was a really nice break. And then we took like 3 hours because we knew we were going to be up late.
Oh,
And
yeah, the pool bar. You had lunch there.
yes,
That,
it's good
and
food.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't as hot this day. Thank goodness. It was still probably 90 in the heat of the day, but at least it wasn't 105. And so by the time we went back in for the Oogie Boogie Bash, it was like 85, which seemed pretty cool compared to before. So and you can see Jordan dressed as the mayor of a Halloween town. So she had a jacket and pants and all this stuff. So it was good
Oh,
that it wasn't as hot. And I was zero.
yep.
So
It's so great. She's got the little spider
yeah, she did.
necktie, and
Yeah, her
it's great.
costume was awesome. So they give you a special park map with all the treat trails and
Oh, that's
stuff.
cool.
And how are you guys on time? Because we're at about an hour right now.
I'm good.
You okay?
I'm
All right.
okay. Yeah.
So we were able to go into the park from the hotel because there's an access into that park from the Grand Californian. So this is not that line.
Hmm.
So we
That's on
went
the other side of the
in.
park.
Yeah, this is in the park. But it's just something to know. You can get into the party. You don't have to go all the way out to the main gate. So you can bypass, like there was no line. We just went straight in and they give you your wristband and everything right there when you enter from the hotel. So that is a real advantage. And also end of the night, just you're right there. I That's a really good reason to spring for staying in that hotel if you do this party, because the party's in California Adventure. So, the hotel's right there. So we got into the party before it technically started. It starts at 6. That's when all the special characters come out and all the stuff starts. So so all around, let me pop that map back up here. So all around the park are villains that are doing like a live show, basically. And they call it treat trails, because there is a lot of candy. But really what it is it's a chance for you to get up close to these villains and you could take selfies and stuff. It's kind of like, if you guys remember when they reopened the parks and they used to have the distance where you could see a character, but you couldn't get up close to them. But you could, like, they would be standing up on a thing or whatever, and you could you
Yeah.
could interact to them and you could take a picture, like a selfie, but you couldn't get right next to them. That's what these treat trails are like. So
Hmm.
they have the trail, it's just the queue, the winding queue line that's just kind of continuously people are walking through it, and then eventually you get close to the character and you can stand there as long as you want and talk to them, or you can just keep going. And in these queues they also hand out candy because they give you a bag to hold all your candy when you check in. And it is, you could literally, you could bring a pillowcase and you would get that much candy if you wanted.
Wow.
Yeah, so we didn't do that because we had to fly home the next day and carry on. So we kind of skirted around some of the
I
candy.
like how the names of every treat trail ends with treat trail.
Yeah, that's good.
In the
Yeah.
world of
Yeah.
SEO, right? If you're gonna, what, tell me about the Hades Street Trail or the Agatha Harkness Street Trail. It's You got to make sure you get all the keywords in there, right? Everywhere you can get them. So
Totally.
treat
Yeah,
trails. There's this treat
exactly. Look
trail
at
and
all the
that treat
tree
trail.
trails. It's fun to say too.
Treat trails.
So yeah, so that's all these. So they're all around. They put these characters all over the park. So here's something to know: wear good shoes, because I bet we walked 5 miles that night.
Mm.
Um, because we were just constantly kind of backtracking to see stuff, and um, it was a lot. Um, but it's
Mm.
kind of cool because it's spread out, so you don't get like a crowd all in one spot either, which is nice.
Huh.
Let's see. So here's one of the street trails. This is before it started. This is one is to see the guy from Coco, the ghost, the musician guy. He I don't know if I have a picture of him, but oh, this is Sid. So over in Pixar Pier, it was Sid from Toy
Toy
Story
Story.
1, and he was like heckling the people that were going by. And he was sort of harassing them.
Like, so what do you
He
do
was
for a
kind of
living?
sarcastically being like, Happy Halloween.
He's
But
got
you
his
can
little
kind of get a sense
microphone.
too of the costumes. So a lot of the guests, you can wear costumes like we were, and some of them were just super elaborate. And the seven dwarfs just went by.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's Sid.
Did you see the little kid dressed as Woody that
Yeah,
went by Sid? That was
yeah,
funny.
it was cute. This
Oh,
lady
Madam
is,
Mim.
she was so funny.
She
She's from
looks great.
Sword and the Stone, I think, right?
Yeah, Madam Mim. That's right.
Yeah,
She fights Merlin at the end of the movie.
she was really friendly with the crowd and just very actually not villainy at all. Very
Hmm.
sweet. Okay, and then so there's two parades a night. And we did the first parade, and the parade it's a really long parade route in that park. And by the way, the crowd, it was a pretty small number of people
Hmm.
that night. I think, I mean, it was sold out, but there was plenty of room for everybody, and we lined up for the parade maybe a half hour before it started, and some people were right there sitting, and we just went right behind them. And we were by the Little Mermaid ride, and it was a great spot. And we got some beer. We had to have some more beer. It was hot. We had beer, and we had goldfish because they were handing out goldfish in the tree trail. So we waited for the parade with our cold beer and our goldfish. And the I don't think I have a picture in here, but the headless horseman comes
Oh,
by first. He comes by like 15 minutes before the actual parade starts. And then there's just all these fun characters that you don't see anywhere else that are in this parade. So of course I had to get one of the mayor since that was Jordan's costume.
yeah.
This is the Haunted Mansion float. There's lots of dancing and singing. Of course, it's Disney. And the
That's
parade's
great.
like maybe not even a half hour long, I don't think. So it's not a huge time sink, but it's kind of the marquee event. So if you're going, you got to go to the parade. And we don't usually do parades, but we had to do this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, except I have to say, the main song that runs through all of it is very much an earworm, and you will never get it out of your head.
Whoa.
So if you actually watch this with sound or watch the YouTube video of it, just warning, you will not get that sound. There's
Well, now I'm
Dr.
gonna have to listen to
Facilier.
it.
You know what's funny is what I see is all of these actors and floats going by with nobody on the street at 4 in the morning while they rehearse it for weeks and weeks and weeks, preparing to do it. And because I
That's
remember
kind
when
of
I worked
funny.
there, I'd be the only audience member because I'm on my way to lunch, and all the floats from Light Magic or some other show would be going by.
That's really funny. I didn't think of that. Okay, so besides the treat trails with the characters, there's this so in California Adventure, there's the Redwood Forest like trail
Hmm.
Mhm.
area kind of by the
Grizzly River
raft
Run,
ride.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And it's really pretty back there at the big trees, and there's like stuff playground for kids and stuff. Well, so for the party, what they do is they light it really just very dramatically, and they have like kind of weird ambient music and stuff, and it's just a walk. So there's me, that's my costume. I had lights in it, so my zero
Oh,
costume lit
cool.
up in the dark. Yeah. Except by the end of the night, I think I had one string of lights left, but it mostly lit up. So, I think some people felt, I've seen some reviews of this. Some people think, oh, it's just lights. There's no candy back here and there's no characters. But it's actually, I found it to be really pretty. I could have just hung out in there a lot longer, actually. Um,
Hmm.
this is like this one spot where it's just like all this twinkly lights, and just very ethereal back there, and kind of spooky because it was really dark too. So, okay. And then uh the other thing is, besides the treat trails, there's just some fun characters, and out they kind of hang out around the big fountain out in the front part of the park. And so we got to meet Shmi, and he was just so cute. And there was a number of really fun different characters, and they kind of rotated through during the night. So I think if you're interested in meeting characters, like, that's one of the main reasons to do the party.
Definitely.
Oh, and here's Hades. He was hilarious.
These are characters you normally will never see unless you go to a party like this. Madam
Mhm.
Mim. I don't think I've ever in my life seen a Madam Mim, character.
Yeah, I know. I mean, some of the characters, I'm like, I don't even know who this is, or I don't remember the movie. But Hades, he was funny.
I like his hair.
Yeah, his hair turns red when he gets mad,
What
although
a
we were
great
there for
shot.
that.
You gotta
Yeah.
put frame that.
Yeah,
That is
I put that in
awesome.
black and white.
The
That's in
Redwood
that
Forest
Villain's
area. Yeah.
Grove.
There's like that's a little climbing wall. I remember when Madison was little when we went to Disney. She was all over that. If you
Yeah.
send that to me, I can clean up those people in the background and you could just have a picture of Jordan in there with all the lights and everything.
Okay. I kind of think they look like ghosts though, personally. Yeah, that was fun. I put that in black and white. Okay. So that's a party. Let me see if there's any other notes I had. Um we ended up having just like pizza at Pim's late, just a quick meal. Stayed till about 11, which is when it ended, and saw some amazing costumes. Somebody dressed up as Kevin, which is from Up, which is really cool.
Kevin the Bird.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that was fun. Okay, so then this is our day. We're going home, and we still had most of a day because we didn't have to leave until close to 3 o'clock to go to
Oh,
the airport. And so we decided to get up and do park opening because that's what we were there for. So
Yeah.
so this is rope drop on the next morning. This is not an early admission, so we had to sleep an extra half hour, except we had to pack our stuff. So, but whatever. So looks like we did Space Mountain again. The thing at Disneyland, there's not a lot open for rope drop, and we could have tried to do Rise to Resistance or something because it wasn't early admission, but still we were like, let's just go over to Space Mountain and do that. So we started with Space Mountain, and then my notes are we went on Buzz Lightyear, and some reason it was super slow. So we basically got stuck in the Buzz Lightyear ride for like 15 minutes during the first half hour of park opening. And
Oh,
it was so annoying because all the pew, 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 pew,
oh.
that kept going. That was still going.
yeah, but you can rack up a bunch of points if you get stuck in there. You can have a
I
great
just, I
score.
just, I was like, I don't need to go on this anymore. We rode Mr.
Oh, Mr. Toad.
Toad. Yeah, that's not even on my list here, but we
The
obviously did
classic.
it. This is how many steps we did on Wednesday. I know this is our total steps. Um, yeah, Tuesday, this is our park day. We did 25,000 steps. So
Wow.
that's our party day.
Yeah.
where we went to the park in the morning and then we went back to the party. And I think I converted it, yeah, 10 miles.
Yeah. Wow. And look at
So
your Knott's Day.
yeah, even that day was
5,000 steps, or no, I guess that would be 5 miles, right? Because if it's 10 miles, so that you
yeah,
did five
yeah.
miles that day. That's
Yeah,
a lot.
because we also walked over to the tiki bar and we
Yeah.
did, yeah. And this isn't counting Wednesday because it's 8:59 in the morning. Oh, this is the pirate band. Um, so Wednesday just felt like we had the park to ourselves. It was super quiet and there was still all the entertainment like this was going on. And we sat and had beignets, and these guys were playing their music next to us. And there was a lot of regulars. You could tell, like there was grown people, just hanging out with all their Disney stuff on. And I really felt like I was at Disneyland this morning.
That's awesome.
Here's going into, and look, the Pirates ride had a 5-minute wait time at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I did get a reservation at Blue Bayou. So we got to have
Oh,
lunch there
nice.
on our last day. And look at this guy. I mean, that's your
He's just
regular.
happy to be there.
Yeah, exactly. We got an awesome table right in there. We got there at 11 and just got a great table. And I think our reservation was for 11:20, but we just went and checked in at 11, which is when they open, and that's how I think we got snagged one of
Oh,
the tables by the water.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just love doing that. That's like one of my
Yeah.
must do's. And then we just spent the afternoon. Let's see, we wandered around a little bit in the park after lunch. And then, and we went and listened to the party line. It's in the Starbucks, is where
The
it is.
market. Hmm.
So it's got to get a picture of that. It's fun that they still have that. And then some Main Street decor. Yeah, and then we went over to California Adventure and rode the roller coaster one more time and got a sundae, and then we headed out back to the airport about 3:30.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have more pictures of Cars Land with all of the Halloween
You
festive
know, that's because I took a ton of pictures of it last year
last
when I
time.
was
Yeah.
there, so I was like, I don't need to do it again.
Yeah. I understand.
But yeah, we have pictures of us with the cars in their costumes from the party.
Yeah.
Um,
Fun.
Like Dracula Mater and
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a great trip. It was the right number of days. It's so nice if you can do 3 nights because you don't have to rush. Um, and
Yeah.
even taking the day and not doing the parks the one day, it worked out really good.
I wonder, can we fly from Texas? We leave early enough? I guess we probably could do the same thing flying from, catch a flight at 6 o'clock and probably land at like 7 California time. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
because you
it's a
have
two and
that
a half
2 hour
hour.
time difference.
Yeah.
That's
So
correct.
You
even if we
totally
landed
could
at
do it.
8:30, we could be in the park by 10. I mean, people do it all the time when they do, 6 parks in a day or whatever. They do all of Florida, then they get on a plane and fly to California because they're basically only losing an hour, even though they're spending 3 or 4 hours in the air, 6 hours in the air, or whatever it is, fly from Florida to California. And so, yeah, you can do it. So that'd be fun. You can't do that going the other way, but you'd have to catch a red eye if you want to go to Florida and do that.
Yeah.
That's no
Yeah,
fun.
but like the thing is, what I like about it is you don't have to pay for the hotel that night before, and you also don't have like I
Yeah,
mean the flying down, it only takes a few hours from here, and it's probably not that much longer for you guys. And so it's like why make that a whole day? Unless it's a situation where it's like you got to work part of that day and then you can fly in after or
yeah,
something.
Yeah.
But even that, it's like if you can just get up in your, like I said, like sleep in your own bed, yeah, you're getting a few hours less sleep, but and then just get out of here and go to the airport. I mean, it's a good system. It works for us anyway. So
yeah. What's great is that you, by having that third day not really cost you anything more or a whole lot more, is you don't feel justified to get a full day in. You can leave at 3 or 4 in the afternoon to head to the
Yep.
airport and feel like you got kind of a bonus half day and you
Yeah.
got a lot done on that half day. You really kind of got to just stroll and take your time. You got beignets, you run some rides.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. Like any of us three, even if you're only in the park for 6 hours, you're probably going to do as much as more than most people would if they had 12 hours.
Yeah.
So I don't, even if I had 4 hours, I might still justify having that extra day park ticket because um you're getting a full experience. You're getting the park experience. You
Yeah.
get to do a lot of cool
Well,
stuff.
and you can even
So
do it the other way. For example, if you couldn't get there, you couldn't leave until noon or something, you could use that as a half day on the first day that you get there and then have a
yeah,
full day, leave early on the day after you leave or something. But it's pretty
yeah.
great.
So anyway, it was really fun. And now we're thinking, I think we're gonna go to Florida next year. So maybe, but I don't know if it'll probably not be this time of year. Speaking of
Yeah.
hurricanes and such.
Yeah, Florida's getting hammered right now. I guess they're saying
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
one of the worst surges they're ever going to see. I mean, it's still coming, but yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if we'll get there for a maybe Christmas party though. That could be fun.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
all right, you guys, thanks for joining me. We'll have to discuss offline our next chat. And thanks for
Yeah.
Yeah.
being part of this, Melanie. This is really
Yeah.
fun.
Well, I did have one last question.
Yeah.
Did you get any fun new souvenirs?
Oh, thank you for asking. I got this mug, which is
Ooh,
my new pencil holder. And
that's
look,
nice.
Oh,
Chippendale.
Chippendale.
It's
That's
like
so
a tree
cute.
yeah,
Like
stump.
a tree trunk.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it'd be
Oh,
a really awkward mug, I think, but
yeah.
it's perfect for my pencils, my pens on my desk.
Did you look
So
on the bottom and see if you could put it in the
yeah, I
dishwasher?
really, I literally did not. I
She turns
actually
it over and
never
all the
looked.
pins fall out.
All the
Yeah.
bits go out, right? Yeah.
Did you look
Yeah, I
on the
was like, it
bottom?
doesn't matter. I did think of that. I thought of you, but I was like, I'm using this. I knew I was buying it to hold my
Yeah.
pens. So,
Awesome.
Well, it
all
sounds like a
right.
great trip.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome. I highly recommend it.
I want to
Yeah,
go.
if you can do it, you should do it.
I think Melanie's already planning a Halloween trip next year.
Oh,
Just
well,
maybe
yeah.
maybe later September, early October, when it starts to cool down.
Yeah, with the temperatures. Oh,
That was weird. I don't know. I mean, one thing is, at least it wasn't smoky because that's another
Mm,
problem you can have there that in September and here and where you are, I suppose, too.
yeah.
Was is the fires, and it wasn't. It was just hot. The sky was blue. The air was, as fresh as it's gonna be, and so you just never know early fall. But it was fine. It was great.
You had your little
yeah.
battery powered fan. You're good.
Yeah, we were ready.
All
All
right.
right.
Well,
Well, thank you for watching, anybody. Rick, if you're out there right now, I'm sorry I haven't been able to tell. Um, good luck with the weather.
Yeah.
all right. Thanks,
All
guys.
right. Thanks. Bye.